Good morning and welcome to Gospel Bytes, where we take a bite at the gospel for the day. Today is Wednesday, April 1st. It's Holy Wednesday. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. This is taken from Matthew 26, verses 14 to 26. One of the 12, who was called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and said, "What will you give me if I betray him to you?" They paid him 30 pieces of silver. And from that moment he began to look for an opportunity to betray him. On the first day of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying, "Where do you want us to make the preparations for you to eat the Passover?" He said, "Go into the city to a certain man and say to him, 'The teacher says my time is near. I will keep the Passover at your house with my disciples.'" So the disciples did as Jesus had directed them, and they prepared the Passover meal. When it was evening, Jesus took his place with the 12, and while they were eating, he said, "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me." And they became greatly distressed and began to say to him, one after another, "Surely not I, Lord." He answered, "The one who has dipped his hand into the bowl with me will betray me. The Son of Man goes as it is written of him, but woe to that one by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better for that one not to have been born." Judas, who betrayed him, said, "Surely not I, Rabbi." Jesus replied, "You have said so." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise you, Lord Jesus Christ. So Holy Wednesday is traditionally called Spy Wednesday because this is the day when Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Now, I used to ask, why did Jesus have to be betrayed? Why was it not enough that he be killed, by the Romans or by the Jews? Why did he need, or why should there be one from his followers who would betray him? And I think this shows us um, the grave nature of sin. That when we sin, it is not just a mere doing something bad or hurting someone, like we teach children. Rather, it is more of a betrayal. No? When we were baptized, we promised to love God above all things. We promised to reject sin and Satan. And every time we sin, we betray that promise, almost like a husband betraying his wife. And this is uh, this is very grave because you are never betrayed by an enemy. You are never betrayed by a stranger. You're only betrayed by people who are close to you. And that is what we are to Jesus. When we sin, we betray him. No? That's why when Jesus asked, when he said, one of you will betray me, they didn't point at each other. They just looked at at themselves and said, "Is it I, Lord?" And even Judas did. So each one of us has a capability of betraying the Lord when we sin. So it's very important that we recognize how grave sin is. It's a betrayal of God, a betrayal of the one person whom we vow to love. Many times I baptized children and I've never seen them again. The parents never bring them back to the church. Or a lot of children, after being baptized, they're never raised up in the practice of the faith. Or after receiving sacraments, yeah, it's a betrayal of the love of God. So oftentimes too, even among priests, some people say, "I don't want to go to the church because of this priest or because of that person." The church is full of Judases too, and we all have the tendency, like every apostle asked himself, "Is it I, Lord?" Let us examine ourselves before we receive Jesus in the Eucharist and see where are the or what were the occasions when I betrayed the Lord. I'm Father Jerry Sembrano for another edition of Gospel Bites. God bless you. Have a nice day.